Deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Thank you very much for that. You're right. I can take it from here. People, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's blessed. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And of course, in some cases, good night. Now, we saw Saka pick up a bit of a knock, obviously, against Ipswich. Nico Williams, rumours won't go away. Is Martin Ødegaard back? Yes, it's against Ipswich Town. I'm having a bit of fun with the title more than anything. But could this be what reignites the spark in Martin Ødegaard and gets him going? Big up to Mikel Marino in particular and everybody else, man. It was lovely. It was a lovely game. Obviously, in terms of that, I've done the reaction. I did the watch along. Again, I want to know you lot's thoughts. Don't forget to smash the like button. And let's crack on, man. Let's crack on. Let's crack on. Let's crack on. And it's been a minute. It's been a very long minute since we've actually seen Benjamin White and Bukayo Saka in the same right-hand flank for Arsenal, let alone all three of these players together. What a season it's been, of course. It was obviously lovely to win 4-0. Obviously, Trossard at the double. Martinelli and Nwaneri also got goals. And it's starting to feel like in the second half, we really turned on the show, really watching it back, man. On Bukayo Saka, allegedly, Mikel Arteta has said on his injury, it was a bit sore, but it's nothing serious. You would have seen him limping after the game. You would have seen him have an ice pack. What a horrible challenge that was. And I hope it's speculated and highlighted to the same standard as, you know, Lewis Kelly, breathing really and truly. And I'm going to make a TikTok about it. Yeah? You know, obviously, Real Madrid, Arsenal. One thing that is not being spoken about is Carvajal's antics with this man in question. I know if the shoe was on the other foot, there'd be a lot that would be said. We've got to remember today, people, not to, you know, get the eyes all watery and whatnot. And before we go on, actually, is, yeah, you see, the mic, I'm not sounding as crisp as I normally do. Ain't got it plugged in. I should be all right now. I should be all right, man. Or you should, I hope you notice the difference, innit? Arsene Wenger in his statement after announcing he was stepping down, man. To all the Arsenal lovers, take care of the values of the club, my love and support forever. I hope you're somewhere smiling, man, at your former player, now our manager, the Hayland and all of the things we're doing, beating Real Madrid. And we're not them guys yet, but we're getting in them conversations, you know. Mikel Arteta in his second season in the Champions League, we've dumped out Real Madrid. When was the last time we was in the semis? And we had, you know, and there's been questions. Now, the fallout, little old Arsenal has made Real Madrid question Carlo Ancelotti, question, you know, the old guard, the likes of Lucas Vazquez, who was crying about how good we are defensively and all of that kind of stuff, people. And obviously, Real Madrid are Real Madrid, but that whole aura stuff and whatnot, it only goes so far. And I think Real Madrid, you know, when somebody talks so much, like if somebody, it's like if a girl tells you she's beautiful all the time, or for the girlie out there, for a man that says I'm handsome all the time, like all the time, every given aspect, surely that's hiding some sort of insecurity. Now, you look at Real Madrid, there was too much of this burn about 90 minutes where Real Madrid, all the talking. And it's probably, they've probably had a lot of insecurities with themselves this season. Saying that, they're still in the cup final, I believe, next week. I might do a watch along. Big up Arsene Wenger, man. You've given a lot to the game, man. So I hope you was watching Arsenal, man. Shout out Lewis Kelly. He's living a move in these 8 to 9 months. You know, he gave his shirt to a young fan. Or I assume a young fan. Be a bit weird if the grown man wanted it. Shout out to Nwaneri, despite being given just 37 minutes. I'm pretty sure everyone expected him to start. I wonder if he starts against Crystal Palace. He managed to find the net versus Ipswich, people. 37 minutes, 1 goal. He's having a great season off his own back. We recorded possession of 79% against Ipswich in the game at a point, which is about the highest rate at this stage of any Premier League game this season, which Arsenal Football Club, being a Wenger baby, we need to do that on a more consistent basis. I mean, what the hell was this guy thinking? What a twat. Like, what an absolute twat. So it's nice for me to see Martinelli score. Gabby Martinelli's goal versus Ipswich was his 50th for the club in 218 appearances. Clearly needs to do better in terms of output, people. I think with Martinelli, I think whenever he scored, we haven't lost. Now, again, that's a great stat, but it's a bit like Gabriel Jesus. I'm sure had that statistic once upon a time. That just tells me, unfortunately, you do not score enough because, again, Martinelli should be, you know, Haaland, Salah, Saka, Vinicius, Rodrigo, any player, you name it. Pretty sure they've scored when their team's lost, in it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Arsenal have won a Premier League away game by 3+ goals on 16 occasions under Mikel Arteta, with only Manchester City with 20 doing so much more often since the Spaniard took control of Arsenal. Smash the like button if you haven't. Congratulations to Kieran Tierney. He's now made 100 Premier League appearances for Arsenal. It feels a bit weird that that's actually you've done that now kind of thing, if it makes sense. But at the same time, we all know
obviously, once the inverted stuff became a thing, it was peak for him, really. You can tell I'm loving the Nwaneri stuff. Shout out to Nathan Butler-Oyedeji for coming off the bench and making his Premier League debut. He's made his Premier League and Champions League debut now, people. Bukayo Saka started for us, people, which, again, people need to remember. We know how long he's been out for, but that was his first start since December the 21st, which I still find a bit mad. And also it was nice to see Ben White get some minutes. You know, he's had a terrible season on the injury front. Arteta drew praise for Declan Rice. He said he can play in the 3 positions in midfield. We know he can play 8. We know he can play 6. What's the other one? A 10? The Odegaard role? I mean, I didn't know Declan Rice had them 3 kicks in his locker, so long may it continue, but I'm not sure what the gaffer means. What do you think he means by that? I'm not thinking about anything else, and he was exceptional. Facts, man. On Trossard, it's nice to be on the score sheet again and helping the team to get to the win. We are there for a reason. We have been doing very well in the Champions League. We have to keep believing and doing. And what an assist it was from Mikel Merino, people. There's some sour guy in my Instagram comments. I don't normally reply, but he's like, oh my God, you didn't mean it. Why are you excited? I'm like, chill out, man. It's Sunday evening. Like, chill out, man. Don't come and project your BS. But big up Mikel Merino. I'd give him man of the match. Obviously, Trossard got a brace. I think Declan Rice was good. I think Odegaard, to be fair, it was a game where they're just going to concede possession anyways, but when they went down to 10 men, Odegaard started cooking. I think Merino was quality, man, and he's in a very good, healthy space. Trossard has now been involved in 10 goals in his last 9 Premier League starts against promoted sides, 4 goals and 6 assists. And I think he's got 6 goals in the Premier League, people, something of that. Either way, we all know him and Martinelli need to be doing a bit better in that regards, right? Or maybe I'm wrong and just making it all up, man. Pardon me. Martinelli said, and this was a few days ago, apologies. I can't say it's my best season here for Arsenal. I had to play some games on the right, which is not my favorite position, but I like to play there to help the team. I tried my best for the team while Saka was out, and we all can acknowledge that, man. Now, where you look at Martin Ødegaard, I think this tweet is quite interesting. Been doing some reading on Odegaard's injury earlier in the season. Really tough one to come back from. Think Arsenal fans need to take it way easier on him. Complete ligament rupture in his left ankle. Grade 3 strain. And I've said this before, I think he's playing with an injury. I think he's going to have surgery post-season. Obviously, people, that's no excuse because you're still playing. You're fit enough to play. You want to play. So, yeah, it is what it is. You need to do a bit better. So, yeah, man, once they are stretched out, they will never return to their original shapes. We are left with an ankle that is less stable. Oof. So maybe Odegaard has to change how he plays. Maybe he has to find a way. I don't know. Like, this is all above board. But, yeah. The sprained ligaments, lose the ability to effectively communicate with your brain. The result is decreased coordination of the ankle. Now, it's one thing talking about him as a footballer, but this is someone in their mid-20s. From a human point of view, that's a dad, going to be a granddad one day, a son, and just everyday life. It's a bit mad, really and truly, if I'm completely honest. Midfielders to make 70+ accurate passes entering in the final third in the Premier League game since 2016-27. Martin Ødegaard is there twice. Jorginho's there versus Newcastle. Cesc Fabregas is there versus Huddersfield. And Martin Ødegaard is there against Ipswich. So, yeah, man, creative kings. That's what we do at Arsenal Football Club. I was too excited to tell you about Nwaneri. Youngest players to score 50 goals for Arsenal across all comps in the Premier League era. Bukayo Saka at 22 years of age and 159 days old. Then you have 23-year-old Cesc Fabregas. Then you have also 23-year-old Theo Walcott. And slightly older, you've got Martinelli. Martinelli should have crossed this a long time ago. He's never lost a game across any comp when he has scored for Arsenal. They're definitely not going to lose it against Real Madrid. And they're going to get Trent Alexander-Arnold. So there's something to consider there. Yes, DG, I hope you and your loved ones has a blessed Sunday. Of course, man, we definitely have, and I appreciate that. So love to say that right back to you and everybody in the chat. Hello, tell me, Starboy good or what? He appears good. All credit to Mikel Merino. As long as 29 stays out the lineup, all things are possible in the Champions League. I mean, I need Kai Havertz to be back fit. But even if he got fit tomorrow, you're not going to be in the starting lineup. Merino has made that spot his own. We're at the stage in the season, I believe, where obviously Arteta's got to be clever and tinker and do them things where he can, but 99% of the time now, the squad is picking itself. And I do think I'm a hypocrite because I'm all on finding new solutions, but I just find myself, especially where the champs is concerned, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So yeah, he wouldn't get in the team, but you never know. If you come off the bench, make yourself a hero. It is what it is. Merino, big him up. Kai Havertz, big him up. I hope Arsenal fans, because some were saying don't sign a striker last summer because we had Kai Havertz. If Merino can be a utility man in other positions and he's doing well in midfield and can be in the starting lineup or on the bench, if Kai, whatever you think about him, can bring something, great. But we still need that number 9. We hear the club like Sesko Arteta likes his we know that's not happening. We saw the David Ornstein report a few weeks, maybe even a month ago, how Berta is a big fan of Gyökeres. That just tells me everyone wants to get a striker in it. So make sure come the end of the transfer window, I see a striker, because while it's romantic to beat Madrid across 2 legs and actually stand up to be counted with, you know, an 18-year-old at left back, which I'm adding to the agenda a bit, but an 18-year-old at left back who is a centre mid by trade, learning to play that left back role, a centre mid up front, a depleted side. If we're in a scenario where next season you want to go one better, right, where we're running the Premier League down to the wire, where, you know, Liverpool is just a case of when they win it, or we're going against Real Madrid, can we have a full strength side? Mikel Merino won more duels and made more tackles than any other player in the pitch in the first half versus Ipswich, and he also got an assist from Martinelli, in a typical Spanish assist, I would say. I think Xavi, David Silva, Santi Cazorla, Cesc Fabregas, they will be proud of that action. Arsenal are actually unbeaten in the last 21 matches that Kivior has started in all comps. That's 21 games as stated, 15 wins, 6 draws, 0 L's. Invincible in that regards, and 10 clean sheets. Shout out the Polish Maldini. And big up Mikel Merino, because again, he's in a great run of form. He obviously was a hero with his brace against Leicester, scored and assisted against PSV, scored the winner against Chelsea, did what he needed to do against Fulham, had a good game in that in general. I was at that game. 2 assists and a goal against Real Madrid is going to, you know, that's your highlight of your Arsenal career so far. And he got an assist in a good team display, I feel, against Ipswich Town. Mikel Arteta delighted at the attacking display versus Ipswich. Now, respectfully, Ipswich are down. We're Arsenal. We should be scoring 3-4 goals. We should be scoring more when they went down to 10 men. And I actually think it was a courageous effort. I think Ipswich offered a lot more when they went down to 10 men. I think they defended well. They didn't give too much. Their keeper managed to game well, tipped a couple of efforts over the bar. Obviously, you know, Saka missed a couple of chances that were food and drink for him. Odegaard hit the post. The keeper made a great save from the debutant, Nathan Butler-Odeji. But I think they competed. Like, if it ended 2-0, I think they would have looked at it as we drew the second half, if that kind of makes sense. And they actually could have scored. But fundamentally, we got the 2 goals. We keep it moving. And technically, Odegaard got an assist. The gaffer himself said, I'm very happy with the performance, the win, and with the fact that we managed a few players that were struggling and gave the chance to others that fully deserved to win the match. I think it was one of the best 35 minutes that we've played away from home this season. And after the back and forth we did to Madrid, I'm very impressed. I hear that, gaffer, but Madrid's got to be up there. It's got to be the best one, isn't it? We need a contribution from all areas and from different players to get the numbers as high as possible today. I think we did it as well. We scored some fantastic goals again. The second one for me, because of the team move as well. Trossard did very well in the build up to that. Also think Zini did well, if I'm honest with you lot. We scored some fantastic goals again, like in Madrid, and we need to continue with that ambition. Smash the like button. We need to get 70k. That's the ambition. I think the front players today were really sharp, really at it, and getting in great positions. They took risks and looked a real threat. We scored some fantastic goals. I think they were superb, so I'm very pleased with that. So yeah, people, we have won 4 times on the continent in a row since our last away league defeat. When was that? When was that? When did we last lose away from home? Oh, it's either Newcastle. It's either Newcastle or Bournemouth, isn't it? Oh, is this in the league? It's got to be, in it. Because we've only lost twice. Well, we lost 3 times this season. Twice came away from home. One was obviously at the Emirates with West Ham, which evidently is not the answer. That would be good for a pub quiz this season. It's a consistency we are showing. Unfortunately, we have drawn 3 or 4 games that we should have won. Clearly should have won. And for small details, we haven't managed to do that. That's what is penalizing us. I like that. And I think that sums the things up. We got 12 draws. Now, once upon a time, 12 draws could mean you go unbeaten. 12 draws can't do that at the moment. And we can go from, you know, we have dropped points from winning positions. But where you lot want to fight me and not overuse, because referee decisions, injuries, all of these things have played a part in it. But control the controllables. There's been times we have, more often than not, unfortunately, when spanners have been thrown in our way, we haven't. So the gaffer said it. Can't argue with me. Argue with the man that manages the football club. I think I'm going to re-edit. I got a video coming out around Arsenal's draws. I think I'm going to re-edit it and add that in. He then said, but with the numbers that we have at the moment, to be where we are at and the adaptability and versatility that the team has shown again today, with 3 or 4 players that could not start the game and still perform at that level, that's what's really pleasing. When we talk about consistency, a big word for them. It's easier to go to Madrid and play that experience, but the ones that were here today were fully engaged with the team in every action and gave us unbelievable support. So thank you so much for doing that. Big him up, man. Big up the gaffer. Confident Trossard, happy with first gunner's brace. There's a lot of statistics that are coming out in relation to this Ipswich game in particular that I'm finding a bit weird, you know. Like, this is really the first time Trossard's bagged twice in 2 games. Do you know what? I might do a quiz, you know, and ask people. I could ask a trick question. How many games has Trossard scored a brace in or something like that? And then, yeah, trick question. It could be good, man. We might end the season. We might do a quiz thing or something, man. Word to Fams on TV. Make sure you're following them. Lot. I'm very confident. I think everyone needs to be on their toes and ready to play. There are some big games coming up. So I think everybody wants to be confident as well as going into these games. I'm really happy for it. What big games? Because we hope we go all the way in the Champions League. If we assume, well, 2 big games against PSG, we assume, and by God's grace, we're in a final. And yeah, every game's a big game in the Premier League. But I would say, off the top of my head, Liverpool away at Anfield. And we got Newcastle. Newcastle's been forcing the little rivalry thing, man. Views on sport. Make sure you're giving them a lot of follow. Big up yourself, my guy. Smash that like button. Madrid talk too much but can't prove ish. And that's the thing. Like, clearly there's insecurities. And it came to a head in not only going out of the Champions League, but being dealt with 5-1, beat up at the Bernabeu, beat up over there. Like, the boys in red turned up and left them dead, and there was no redemption. See what I did there? Play on words. If you know, you know. But it's insecurities. It's come to a head. There's evidently question marks on the players individually, collectively. There's probably bad blood per se in the changing room. Question marks above board. Question marks on Carlo. And it's come to a head. Like, you've seen Madrid lose a lot, and they can't sit here and say, "Oh, it's the worst Madrid in forever," because again, you can't please everyone. Because had we have lost, what would they have said? The same things they said against Bayern. You can going into it. You can beat Bayern. They're not the Bayern they are. We were saying it's still Bayern Munich. We lose it. Oh, they couldn't beat the best Bayern. Real Madrid. Oh my God, this is where Arsenal's run ends. Real Madrid are so this, so that, the other. We beat them. Oh, it's just a shoddy Real Madrid. This is why I don't care about external validations. And do you know what I like as well? I always hope everybody's fit and both teams are in the best possible form because it's a great spectacle. But everyone will say it's not a poor Real. It's a poor Real Madrid. It might be, but I still see Valverde across the 2 games. I've still seen Valverde. It ain't really because we've shut up shop in it, but I've still seen Valverde. I've seen Tchouaméni. I've seen Camavinga. I've seen Modric. I've seen Courtois. I've seen David Alaba. I've seen Rudiger. I've seen Bellingham. I've seen Bellingham's a bit of prick in it. I've seen Mbappe. I've seen etc. Look at our team. Look at our team. It's on brand with Arsenal with a centre mid playing up front with Mikel Merino, who was going into form in the Madrid game, but it took a while. You got an 18-year-old. God knows how many career appearances actually Lewis Skelly has for this team. It's probably just about 20. Either way, we know it was a depleted squad. So yeah, they can't. They talk too much, man. Comfortable win, man. Big up yourself, Sadiq, because you're part of the furniture. ACSA, you're always here. What have you said? What have you said? You've said a series of things. Opposition was poor and gave him time to do his thing. He won't get that against most teams. Need an upgrade on Odegaard. Make Rice and Gabriel, a man said Gabriel excel here, or Timber captain. Ever since Saka's return from injury has become more direct in attack, he knows Odegaard won't help him. This is crazy. Not even near the ball. Red card deserved. Horrible tackle. Stupid tackle. Celebrating the most high today, DG. Happy 420. Don't know what that is, but I appreciate you, man. We can't say that Odegaard is back based on 1 game. We need to see this again on a consistent basis. If he is truly back, why did he leave it so late? I mean, you're not wrong, but for every player, even the ones we don't like at our club or whatever, if we think about it logically, do we think a single player doesn't want to play well, isn't asking themselves the same questions? I'm not sure, man. Oh, in the league, it's Newcastle. That game was after Bournemouth and West Ham was at home. I told people to wait. Marino just needs to adapt to our system. There's more to come. Trust me. I hear it, man. No party. Arsenal, nil. PSG 2. Hope we can prove you wrong, man. Expect the unexpected. Saka should be rested against Crystal Palace. Maybe just subbed him for a few minutes in the second half to get some minutes in the legs. I'm sure Crystal Palace got a game. When are they at Wembley? When are they at Wembley? Because it's all fun and games talking about us in the champs. Like, I'm sure it's a big week next week for Crystal Palace. Their women are going to be playing Chelsea at 7:15 on the same day away from home. Obviously, we play on Wednesday against Crystal Palace at the Emirates. I'm sure. Yeah, it's a big week for Crystal Palace. They might have to, quote unquote, throw the game. Like, they're not getting relegated. They're not qualifying for Europe. They got a trip out at Wembley. They might have to, both teams might have to throw the game per se, if I'm completely honest with you, because on that Saturday, so like we play on the 23rd of April, on Saturday the 26th, 5:15 against Aston Villa, Emirates Aston Villa actually. It's Crystal Palace in a semi-cup final of the FA Cup, so you're not that far away from being there. Well, we don't have a game on the... It's weird. We ain't got a game. We ain't got a game on the weekend. That's sad. Weekends without Arsenal are not worth it. Fair enough. But then next Tuesday, we're in the champs, isn't it? So yeah, man. I thought Wanyeri would have started today. Maybe he starts tomorrow. I don't know, man. But yeah, what has he said? Yeah. So yeah, Trossard said everyone needs to be on their toes. We're going over that. As forward players, this is how you want to be, and it's good for everyone. It's always nice to be on the score sheet to help your team to get a win. So I'm really happy. He then went and said the second one, I think we had a lot of corners prior to that, and we tried to play short. The short corners were quite decent today. We kept going, and then at the end, we got the reward. It's been a good win today. 4 goals and a clean sheet. I don't think we can ask for more. I mean, we can, we can. We're used to a lot. I've seen you score 7. I've seen you lot score 5. Maybe we probably should have put 4 past them in the first half, man. I do think in the first half, we was playing well, but we'd never had that added level of focus or quality. And I don't mean that in a negative way in the final third, like probably one touch too many, all those kind of things. But there's always room for improvement. And I think he's right, man. We want to win every game, and also in the Premier League. I know it's been up and down, but we want to keep the momentum going. I think that's what we did today. And now we can look forward to the next one. Amen. 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 Let's see exactly what the gaffer said. Obviously, he said we were happy. We've got over that. On whether Trossard would start against PSG. Well, we don't know what's going on with Jorginho, and bit disrespectful to Crystal Palace because that's in front of us. But the gaffer said he's certainly ready to play in any position. We have to make certain adjustments, not because of PSG, but because of the situation we had as well with Thomas Partey and a few other players. But that's good because the team shows adaptability and versatility for certain players to play in different positions. That's very much needed, especially when we have the numbers we have at the moment. On the challenge for Saka, the ref made a good decision. That's clear. He was a bit sore, but it's nothing serious, so that's good. Now, that's probably the best thing we've seen of this press conference. On Saka and Odegaard's performance, I think they were very good, both of them. Saka didn't score, but he contributed to a few goals. The same with Martin. So overall, I think collectively, we were very, very strong today as well. On whether the boss was warned, it was a very serious injury for Saka. I do, especially with the numbers we have right now, and especially when tackles are with your back to goal, because normally it's the moment when the foot is planted, your weight is there, you cannot really react to it, but he's fine. On if we will rotate on Wednesday, we have to somehow put 11 players out there and have 4 or 5 changes. Let's see how they recover in the next days. The good thing is they are willing to play because they like the rhythm as well. We are so used to that rhythm every 3 days that the boys are demanding. And then we don't have a game on the weekend. We have a gap there. So let's see how we get on Wednesday. On being able to play with fluidity down the right-hand side with Ben White's return. Bit disrespectful to Timber, if I'm honest, but let's see. I'm very happy for Ben because he's missed a lot of football. He's been so consistent and regular in the last few seasons with us. And this season, for different reasons, he hasn't been able to play that many minutes. I think he played a really good game. So I'm really happy with him. Smash the like button so I can be happy with you lot, please, because he's got a lot of quality. He brings something else to that unit, and it was good to finally see him. On Trossard pulling out to the right-hand side during the game, we have to adapt and put players in positions and situations that can be very difficult to control for the position and create a threat from our side. That's on our intensity. That's what we discussed before the match, and that's the way they described it. And to be more intense than them, and actually what does that mean? It has to be very intense in terms of your focus, your level of attention to consider and understand 1, 2, 3 seconds before what's going to happen, and then act. I think the team was very much at it from the beginning. And that's one thing I don't want anyone to not think about Arsenal. Everybody pulls their weight. Forget form. We are not carrying anyone. Everybody's at it. And I know managers, they play a bit of a diplomatic game, but you don't have to. I don't care if people don't rate Arteta or Arsenal, but like, you listen to the way any player that does an interview speaks about us, or even McKenna today, the way they speak about Arsenal, we've got something here. Whether the only questions around Mikel Arteta and these players are if this, at the moment, if they can win the champs, if they will be able to get over the line in the Premier League and the Champions League eventually one day, and what's missing. You can't tell. I'm not saying this to back Arteta. You can want him gone. You can think he's got questions over to get over the line. I'm not doing an Arteta Defense League. But you can't tell me he's not a good coach. You cannot tell me he's not a good coach. You cannot tell me we haven't got a good team and some good players. I'm not saying we're the bee's knees and we're the best thing since sliced bread. Those of you that are smart enough to understand, get where I'm going with it. So, yeah, I like to hear that. Mikel Merino, he's not really playing up front. He's not really playing in midfield. He's doing a bit of everything. He's a floater, and it's testament to him because you've got to have the manager's obviously got the confidence that you are the best option to do what is required with what's led us to this point. and he can give you all the, all the guidance, tell you what you need to do, etc. But Mikel Marino's got to want to do it. He could have cowered away. Oh, Gaffer, I'm not really. I'm exaggerating, but Gaffer, I'm not really confident. I'm not a striker. Like, I'm not really having the best of time at Arsenal. But he's taken to it. He's believed that he can do it. He's got, obviously, you do it once, have a good game, you keep getting better and better, and that's what you need, man. I do think people fail to understand a key aspect of football, psychological stuff, whether that's believing in your manager, whether that's believing you can win, whether that's reacting to setbacks, pulling your teammates through stuff. Marino's done his thing, man. And I think there's a couple of players that are too, for want of a better phrase, too humble in my team. I think Mikel Marino's one of them, and I think Kivio's one of them. So it's lovely to see them doing what they're doing, especially Kivio. You're meant to be a defender, but Kivio, big up yourself. Weren't really tested today, but you're doing your thing. Real Madrid, you stood up tall, and you was part. You guys, well, all of them will go down in folklore in Arsenal quarters for those 2 games against Madrid. Big up Marino. That's where he's played his whole career. But obviously, we have a very short memory sometimes, and we see him as a 9, and it was almost strange to see him in midfield. I think he did really well. It was strange to see him in midfield. I do think he's an option up front, and what I mean by that is, brother, we need a striker. In the summer, we need a striker. In an ideal world, yeah, it would have actually been you sign your Gyökeres or whatever. You've got Chido Martin as your like project striker. It's a bit disingenuous, but like you're Eddie Nketiah. You got your Gabriel Jesus and your Eddie Nketiah, if that makes sense. And then Kai Havertz, Mikel Marino, maybe you can come off the bench and play up front. Do you get where I'm going? But we need a striker. But again, in the modern day, you have to be able to play a couple of roles. Now it's extraordinary what Marino's doing up front and how he's ended up front. But what players in our team can't play more than one position? And that is nothing to do with Arsenal necessarily. That's the modern day requirement. The only one is probably David Raya, isn't it? Like, and to be fair, I reckon if you ask David Raya if you want to play centre half or centre mid, he basically plays centre half anyways. He'd do it. But Lewis Skelly can play a couple roles. Whether it's extreme cases like in Lewis Skelly's case, left back and centre mid, or like a Declan Rice, you can play centre half if need be, but you can play in midfield, but it's different kind of roles. It might be 8, it might be 6, it might be more box to box, it might be, do you get where I'm going? There's very few players in this team that can't, at the minimum, play 2 roles, and that's a modern day requirement. Unless you're like Bukayo, who, can play left back, which we never want to go back to, or play on the left hand side. It's like Mo Salah, you're always going to play, your best player is always going to, 9 times out of 10, play in that best role. You want to give them favorable conditions. So, yeah, it was strange. On if the tackle on Saka could have been worse. I haven't seen it in slow motion. I've just seen the normal pace image, and he cuts him from the back. I don't think it's intentional at all, but obviously it's dangerous because he can't really react to anything because you can't see him coming. On Martinelli getting his 50th goal for the Arsenal. That's great. I think he's very good form at the moment, full of confidence, looks really sharp as well. And he's arriving in very dangerous situations with very good timing, which is good to see. Every now and again, Martinelli remembers he's Brazilian, and it's lovely to see. Again, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. People are getting into form at the right time. Saka is picked up, he's picked up where he's left off. Fair enough, I'm reaching, but generally the team's had some good performances that's going to help confidence. Odegaard, I'm doing too much, but you stood up to be counted against Ipswich. We hope that's the case. Lewis Skelly's obviously finding his feet even more, going up the levels. I think the same with Saka. Marino, we've discussed. Kivio's got his flowers. You get where I'm going, in it. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Good, great from the gaffer there. Is there anything else? Bit of a short press conference, it's much longer when we actually lose. Busy summer expected at Arsenal. We're going to get into that in just a sec, people. But remember, it's an interactive show. DJ, have you done player ratings? No, I have not, but we can do that now. Actually, okay. Let's, I'm a man of the people. People, as we say. I'm so conscious of that word now, like I'm so conscious of people. I didn't mean it to become something like that, but yeah. I guess, I don't know why, even now I shout it. But anyways, let's get into player ratings. 24 shots, 7 on target, 75% of the ball, obviously 4 goals, 12 corners. With them corner boys, man. But yeah, player ratings, I give their left back Davies a 10 because he's a 10 out of 10 bellend for that tackle. So you're the man of the match or the remember, some of you remember when we used to do players of the week and dunce of the week. I might bring that back. If I was still running the dunce of the week show, you'd be done out here, man. You'd be done out here, Davies. But player ratings, humble 6 for Raya. Yeah, had to do nothing. Like, it is what it is. And I always want my keeper, maybe not so much today, but naturally, every game of the 38 games or every game Arsenal play across the season and every other fan, you want your keeper to be the lowest rated player. I'd never want my keeper to. I don't ever want to see any highlights from my keeper because that means we're giving him things to do on the best of day. I just want to see David Raya's passing range. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see him pip off mad saves and do all of that. So it's nice. So yeah, Raya is 6. I actually think Zinchenko did very well today. I think he did very well. I think even in was it? I can't remember. It can't have been the first. I think Martinelli's one. Trossard did very well. Odegaard did very well in that. Zini did very well in that particular phase. And that was my favorite goal because from back to front, it was a good move. But I think I'm going to give Zini a strong 7, you know. Maybe even an 8. I'm going to give him a 7. I think he did. I think Zinchenko, yeah, Ipswich, blah, 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 all of that stuff. And it was mad, you know. We actually saw Lewis Skelly and Zinchenko in midfield at a point. So mix and blend different options. And I think this is a season for learning. And I think one thing I think Arteta has learned, obviously, you have to find that balance. Life like football is a contradiction. I think Arteta has learned, especially with the Real Madrid game. I wouldn't say to give the players confidence because I think he does that. But like sometimes he might, you know, across his time here, he's done radical changes. I think sometimes he just sometimes you got to overthink so much, but also at the same time not change anything. And I'm not saying to not sell Trossard or not to keep Zini or do this or do that, but circumstances have led us to really be reminded, if we needed to be reminded, of why you need a big squad. So I'm not saying don't sell Trossard because he's got a year left on his deal. Keep Zinchenko. He's on 150 grand a week. That has to be reviewed. Give or not give Jorginho a new deal. But I wonder, Tini, you know, he's going Celtic, but you get the point. I wonder if the manager's sitting there and thinking, right, you know what? Sometimes I might just have to keep a couple of these guys around, but we're digressing. I think I said a good 6 for Raya. I'll give Zini a 7. Kivio, I'll give you a 7. I think your passing was very good today. Saliba the same, a 7. Ben White, I give you a 6. I think he was good. You could still see you're a bit rusty. You weren't tested, but you was a bit rusty. Odegaard, I'll give you an 8. You got an assist. Yeah, I'll give you an 8. I'll give you an 8. I think he was playing at 7 plus a bonus point, but you came up strong, man. You did. Declan Rice. Oh, you know what? Odegaard, I'll give you a 9 isolated today. Declan Rice, I'll give you a strong 8. Fantastic as always, really. Got an assist. Well, I would have given you an 8 anyways. We do bonus points for goals and assists, so naturally you've ended up on a 9. I think Rice is just being Rice, isn't it? I'm going to give Marino a 10. I think he's our man of the match. There's nothing I could ask from you, if I'm honest. If I was being really harsh, because you're good in the air, Saka put one corner in, and I'm kind of overdoing it, but you jumped. Like you was being pulled. You gave it all you could. You try to header it, but you jumped up too early. There was nothing you could do. I think Marino was good. I think it was mustard. I'll be honest. I don't know. There's nothing more I could ask you to do today. So 10 out of 10. You would be my man of the match. I have to give Trossard a 10 as well. Bro, you scored 2 goals. You did what you needed to do. Disappointed you didn't get your hat trick, but it is what it is, man. So yeah, 9s for Odegaard and Rice, 10 out of 10 for Marino, default 10 for Trossard. Martinelli, 9. Saka, 6 or a 7. I don't think he was good, but like he set himself silly standards in it, and he did get kicked off the pitch. But I'm mainly focusing on. There was some Saka could have got 2 goals today. Like he could have, man. Like he really could have, man. So yeah, that'd be my player ratings, man. But you know the funny thing about player ratings, without even seeing the comments, and the beautiful thing about football is everyone's got a different opinion. I know I'm about to hear, oh my god, you give him a this and a that, and let's cut the track. There's 100 of you odd in here. To the 51 people that have hit the like button, God bless you. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ipswich guy unintentionally, but dumb, bro. And I hear it. Listen, only he will know if he meant. I'm not saying he did, but only he will know if you tried to do something malice to Saka in it, which I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I think it was clumsy. I think it was stupid. So nobody thinks you're a bad guy and you're Satan spawn and you wanted to do that. But it's fair. It's fucking stupid, bro. Like, some of you would seeing the watch along with me and you would have seen them quite animated because this like, come on, fam. Nobody else cares in this life about player welfare. You see the amount of games these guys play. A fellow professional has a duty to not be dumb, bro. Don't be dumb. And it was fucking stupid, pardon my French. Furthermore, Davies, apologies. Suck your mum a million times, man. You're pissing me off. Seeing Saka flying in the air, bro. That brother. And like Arteta was saying, when your foot is planted, there's things that scare me in football more than anything. Obviously, when feet are planted, Arteta said that, right? The only thing that scares me more is when people are injured or players go down like off the ball, or if it's not during contact, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, that would be the player ratings. Martinelli 50 goals is quality. To be honest, he can stay. He can stay for the bench. Martinelli should listen. If Martinelli wants to reach the next level, I'm exaggerating, but he needs to do what Saka is doing. Forget everything we've seen Saka doing. Just in terms of output, we look at Liverpool. They had Mane. They had Salah. Give or take, Salah probably outscored him, but they both pulled their weight. Cool. If you can't do you can't match Saka. If you can't match Saka, because again, there was a time where Martinelli was doing his thing, and people were saying who's got the highest potential, and it was a bit romantic today because I'm probably exaggerating, but when was the last time we saw Martinelli and Zinchenko start on that left-hand side? A throwback to 2022-23, right? If he can't do exactly what Saka does, right, you need to at least do 50%, which is still fucking good. I'm a big Martinelli fan. You lot know how much of a big fan I am. Brazil bias, Martinelli FC, all of that stuff. And big him up for getting to 50 goals. And you are still only 23, but I rate you. You should have got that from Wade. You and Trossard, I'm not expecting man to score every game, but you've got the ability to score every game. Well, not every game, but pull your weight in that regards. And they ain't really been doing that this season. More so, well, both of them, but I would say for me, more so Trossard, because there's been times I think you've been very unlucky not to generally throughout your time at Arsenal, not to start more games. And obviously due to injuries you have. That's the only reason I think we need a left winger. I think Martinelli and Trossard, I'd actually like to keep them, obviously. Some of you wanted Martinelli sold up until recently. Trossard's got a year left on his deal. We don't know how the club and Berta is going to play that. But again, we need a squad. We need a squad. We need a squad. We need a squad. If you've got your Gyökeres, your Bukayo Saka, trying to talk into existence, your Nico Williams, that is amazing. You've got your Martinellis and your Trossards and your Kai Havertz's and even Merino playing up front. If they're all in the squad and they're Wanyeri and they're contributing, Rice is continuing to bring goals from midfield because we need to do that. Rice is bringing goals. Every now and again, a Partey might score a scream or a header. Odegaard obviously needs to get his act together in that regards, 1,000,000%. We're happy as Larry. We want to be a team that's competing on four fronts. Arteta keeps specifically saying when asked, we have a squad of 19. When you look at that 19 squad, there's one thing everyone's guilty of. You go back to the summer. We were all sat here. Some of you were here, yeah? If everyone's fit, we still got a tiny squad. If everybody right now is fit, the squad is still tiny. You lot know this. You lot not stupid. You know this. And then some fans are guilty of that. But when everybody's fit, if everyone's fit, okay, that's great. But this is football. When are the conditions going to be ideal? It's like I look at injuries, unfortunately, like a chef cutting. Like if you want to be a chef and a chef, you're gonna cut your hand, bro. If some of you want to be firefighters, you're going to step into environments where you're probably at risk of burning and crazy things. If you want to work in a pub as a manager or anything in the public sector, I don't advocate being a Fed, but if you want to be a Fed, you have to expect some level of abuse. It comes with the territory, right? And adding the Arsenal tax, we've been knowing about injuries way before Mikel Arteta was a thing as an Arsenal manager. Now, again, there's a reality where we had the summer, forget the ability and the level raises and what we wanted. Just in terms of, we looked at the squad, we're like, yeah, all right, the numbers are boosted, right? Because even last season, we had a clean run with injuries. You still miss Partey. You don't know I've been champion Timber from Wade, and I said it then, and I'm going to say it now, especially with what he's been doing. Lord knows how highly Timber would have been kept in regards had he have been fit last season. I actually think the majority of last season he would have been spent at left back, innit? We need a bigger squad. But how many of these men are durable like that? Because the durable players have broken down this season. Unfortunately, we've probably been older Saka injury. Unfortunately, because he's played it with bare games. Same goes for Ben White. Kai Havertz as well. Well, Kai Havertz, Martinelli, Saka in particular, hamstrings. It was going to be a thing. Ben White, we know how he's a Spartan and he plays on injuries and whatnot. And then you strength test the squad. There's bare players who pick up knocks. The only anomaly is Thomas Partey, who's hope it continues. Maybe it's that thing in the last year of his deal, prolonged fitness. Now, there's a reality where, of course, the club has the summer we want. We still get these injuries. For me personally, I'm a fair person. If we did everything to guard ourselves like and bodies drop like flies, fair play. You're doing what you can in it. But yeah, man, have you smashed the like button is the main thing, man. I ain't seen the updates. Apparently Saka's all right. Probably got a bit of, probably got a cut. Probably a bit of bruising. Definitely sore. Gally probably have to massage that, but he's all right, man. And I mean, I'll be honest. The Saka, half of these attacking players in today's day and age, yeah, I wonder, like, what is going to happen when your career is done? Like, how much, like, every day you're getting mad kicks, and then you could bring him back in the days, like, when you like way before my time, but Maradona and Pele and Eusebio, when football was less guarded like now, a man could really just clash you, just 2-foot you kind of thing. One does wonder, man. Football's a mad game, bro. Mad game. Earn a lot of money though, don't I? So it's all right in that regards. As Arteta said though, busy summer expected at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is on record saying Arsenal are in store for an exciting summer transfer window. So the pressure is on newly appointed sporting director Berta. Is it? I agree and disagree. Obviously, not everyone was happy with Edu. We've dropped the ball in the last 2 transfer windows. He comes with a big reputation, 12, 13 years. We know we don't know what the squad needs, but we don't know the specifics, but we all know striker, left wing, or centre mid, depth. We've been waffling about it, right? We know that. But they need to know it. And also, in Berta's defense, I think you need to be very careful. I'm sure he's got all the ability and all of that stuff, but it's one man. One man can't change everything at this club. No matter what you think of Mikel Arteta or previously Arsene Wenger, one man alone or Ferguson, one man alone can't do it. Mikel Arteta, I'm not saying that he wants it. He gets all the praise, and I'm sure he's got all the ideas and everything. But equally, the coaching stuff. Like, the coaching stuff. You got to remember, Arteta can't be everywhere and do everything, and neither can Berta. Think about it, think about it logically. Like, Nico Williams, Zubimendi, Gyökeres, for example, right? Let's just say all them transfers are going on at the same time. Berta can't be in, I don't know, well, you can, but he can't, he's only one man. You can't be talking to Nico Williams in some restaurant in Bilbao, then wherever Sociedad is with Zubimendi, and also at the same time be in Portugal, and also, you know, be trying to get Joan Garcia done, or this one and that one and the third, and then, you know, you I don't know, being, for example, you're trying to get Partey to, you know, you're linking up with Partey on holiday to get him to sign a new deal. Then you got to talk with Lewis Skelly, Saka, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Wanyeri's agents. You can't do it all at the same time. Looking at Mikel Arteta, he can have all the ideas he wants, and I'm sure he does. But he can't be eyes and ears everywhere. Think about it. For all, let's just say I'm Mikel Arteta. All of you lot here are my Arsenal players, right? We're on the training field right now. We're all on the training field. We've got a game on Wednesday. I might think, you know what, Palace are a great attacking side, fantastic attacking side. We're going to work on low and deep blocks and whatnot. I'm going to set you lot out and do that. Let's just say in the Ipswich game, I saw something that I want to, like, I saw some reference point that I feel Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, I don't know, Benjamin White, like, I just want to have a word with them and improve them at something. If I go and take these 3 players away, someone's got to look after the other group, you know. That's where you need your coaching stuff. All right, set piece guy. You're going to get 30 minutes. You go teach them this. Low blocks, you go do this. Goalkeeping coach, go take the goalies and do this. You get it? So Berta can't do it all alone. And that's my only fear. Everyone has to sing from the same hymn sheet. If the conditions are right, and he's just, it's a thing where, all right, cool, everybody's playing their plot. Show us why you got this reputation, and it's cool. And I just, again, there's excitement. I just need to see delivery now, innit? Like, you're here. And you don't know me. I hide it a lot. But one of the most exciting things for me is actually seeing Berta consistently. Like, he was at the game today. He was at the Fulham game. Obviously, he was on the pitch in the Madrid game against Madrid at the Emirates and so on and so forth. So I hope it's exciting, innit, people? Apparently, at the top of the club's priorities, this is by Sammy Mobile, by the way, at the top of the club's priorities will be the signing of a new centre forward. Alexander Isak is the dream option for Arteta here. The dream is free. The Arsenal sold separately. I wonder what the Deluded guy said that. But the cost of removing the Sweden international from Newcastle's clutches means this deal is unlikely to happen. Perhaps if the Magpies do not qualify for the Champions League, ironically, you know, we got them in a few weeks, there's a glimmer of hope for the club's courting Isak. But even then, the transfer fee, which would run way beyond 100 million, keyword way beyond 100 million, would likely prove extremely prohibitive. As a result, Arsenal are exploring alternatives to Isak, with Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko and Sporting striker Gyökeres among those firmly on the club's radar. Okay, we haven't learned anything new in that particular regards. Midfielders Thomas Partey and Jorginho are set to leave in the summer when their contract expire at the club, but the club are well advanced in a move for Real Sociedad playmaker Martin Zubimendi. So at this point, we ain't learned nothing. We've been hearing Arteta said be excited. We saw those things in his press conference. We've been knowing there's some degree of interest in Isak, in Gyökeres, in Sesko. There's nothing new there. We know on paper, barring any changes, Jorginho, who's linked with a move to Brazil, is on paper leaving. The same goes for Thomas Partey. And we've heard we're well advanced in the move for Zubimendi, but there's bare whispers. 1 minute, we're not scared of Real Madrid. Now they're hijacking it, and subsequently Xabi Alonso's linked with Real Madrid. Maybe there's something in that. Maybe that gives fuel to the fires of the rumors. Maybe that makes Zubimendi want to do that. So there's everything going on, people. Maybe we'll learn something new, but apparently, so yeah, we're well advanced in the move, but you can be as advanced as you want. We've all seen stories where footballers are within an inch of signing for a club to the point where they're at the club's training ground about to sign, and then things go left. I don't know why it's coming to my head, but Eddie Nketiah, do you remember a few years ago? I think it was Emery was here during the January period. He was meant to go on. He was going on loan, and he said, "Man, flew out to Germany. They got a tour of the stadium, speaking with the manager, all of that kind of crap. Like it's just a case of confirming it." Arsenal said, "Yeah, we need you back." So you can be as advanced as you want. You need to get the job done. You know, if you're winning a football game for 89 minutes, have you won it yet? You win it at full time. United against Lyon would tell you that. 10-man Lyon, by the way, mind you. And Man United lost again today, which made the weekend somewhat better, man. Elsewhere, Arsenal, sorry. So, yeah, we ain't learned nothing. But elsewhere, Arsenal will be in the market for a wide forward, and Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams is greatly admired. However, like, is that the cost of the deal for Williams would be very expensive. I mean, good players are going to be expensive, innit? Rice was expensive, but if you're doing the thing on the football pitch, it don't matter. Technically, you could argue Partey was. That's 50 million release clause activated, ran the bread up front. So, yeah, we know it'd be expensive. Interestingly, though, Real Madrid's young attacker Odegaard is a player that the club have considered in the past, while Wolves' Cunha has been watched extensively. Arsenal also among a host of clubs across Europe tracking the progress of 15-year-old Ecuadorian twin brothers Holger and Edwin Quintero. Big them up, but they're 15, so they can't move until they're 18 at the very least, unless there's some banduli way of going to buy it. Maybe his parents have some level of European passport and they want to move. They're moving to Europe anyways. I don't know, but we're going to be scouting him. But you can confirm the signing today, but he cannot move until he's 18 at the very least, which you see Chelsea doing. In terms of outgoings, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Nuno Tavares, Reece Nelson, Trossard may leave, while Arsenal could consider an unexpected sale of one of their first teamers, dependent on the size of any offer. I mean, that goes for anyone. And again, they could leave. It's one thing saying these guys have to leave. We don't know if Zinchenko on paper is going to leave. He's got a year left. The club might want to move him on. Zinni might want his loyalty bonus. He might think, going back to what I said, maybe the gaffer sees that you need depth and I can get an opportunity. Maybe he thinks, I can take my spot back from Lewis Skelly or Calafiori or even the options of Tommy and Timber at left back. Maybe he's comfortable here. Maybe he thinks he's going to get an option in midfield. Maybe we accept an offer and he doesn't feel the wages are worth that, which he's within his right. Maybe him and his family are comfortable in London. Bearing in mind, I'm sure he was an Arsenal fan. So it's all fun and games saying sell these players. But are they? And there's a lot of moving parts. There is an element of we need to buy players regardless. We need to sell players regardless. But then there's also an element of, can you buy to a degree? Can you buy before you sell? Do you sell before you buy? I don't know. Again, I think we need a left back. Big up Lewis Skelly. Shout out Calafiori. If Tommy is fit, Timber, there's options there. But are we going to let necessarily Zinchenko go until you've confirmed that left back signing? Bearing in mind, Tini's going. I hope to, I love Tini. I hope there's a change of heart there, but it is what it is. Fabio Vieira, he's doing well at Porto. Is he pulling up enough trees? I don't know. Porto got that lad. Is it Rodrigo Moura? He's like 17, 18. I think he signed a new deal. Trust me, let's get that signing. Ask Porto, how much does Fabio Vieira knock off that cost? Get that done. Tavares is gone. That's one thing. It's an obligation. He's gone. Nelson probably does need to move on. Whether he does go is another thing. I don't know, because Nelson left. I personally think Raheem Sterling's loan does not happen if Nelson don't go anywhere. Or if Nelson made clear, cool, I'm happy to stay. I don't know. If Kivior wins the champs as our centre-back, you still selling. I've always said, if Kivior is cool to stay and be on the bench and do the bench thing, and obviously you want to play and whatnot, but in the role he's got where he comes in when people are not playing, I'm cool with that. I think for you need to leave unless the gaffer has said, what, cool, maybe I could utilize him a bit more. I'm on him staying. At the same time, though, if we are trying to not balance the books, I don't want to use all that terminology, but if we are doing the balance in the book kind of thing, Kivior seems to be one that's got interest. Now, I don't know if offers have ever been placed. Rumors are very different to actual things that are taking place in the world of football. But Kivior's always linked with these Italian clubs, couple Spanish ones, but Italian clubs. If there's a decent offer and his stock is high, do we get rid? There's an option there. Because if he does, like out of all these guys that are being linked with moves away, if Zinni really does have interest from Napoli, from Inter, from AC, from Juventus, that's someone in quote unquote high demand, right? And he's done it against Real Madrid. Could they do that? It's all fun and games selling Zinni, but is there a market for Zinni? We did hear Atletico Madrid, ironically, wanted him in January. We did hear Dortmund, but is there offers? It's one thing saying it's like me trying to sell grub. If I've got no plug or my grub's dead, nobody wants it. It's from past life. But anyways, yeah, there's an option. There's bare mix and blends going on. And also, we might be successful getting a centre mid, successful getting a left winger, successful getting a striker. But let's just say this imaginary left back that we're trying to get, it don't happen. And for whatever reason, it don't happen. The other ones don't happen. And we think, well, what are we going to do? We might just keep Zinni, let him run down his contract. And that could be extended to a lot of people. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting one. We're going to have to see. What is this headline shameful? Not sure what you mean there, Johnny, but one love, man. Big up yourself and your family. Anyways, Mikel Arteta on how to evolve the squad to compete in all comps. Squad quality and availability. Without those two, you cannot compete in 4 competitions at this level, especially in this country. Impossible. He said it there. Said it there. Squad quality and availability. Now, I do think we've got some good players. Do we have a quality squad? Probably not. Can we advance in that regards? 100%. Crucially, availability, which we've got a lot of talented players that there's question marks about their availability. I like Park. We all like Park. We're probably wanting to stay. It seems like a no-brainer right now. In the summer of the last 2 years, people had a lot of different conversations, right? We all love Tomiyasu. He can't stay fit. And obviously with Miles Lewis-Skelly's emergence now, the club might feel even more comfortable. And obviously we signed Calafiori, who has injury knocks of his own. So I think he's right with that. Both are as important as each other. The higher the quality, the higher the availability, the more chances and probability you have. After you have to do it, but the probability goes high. I don't think the manager's lying in that regards. I did cover this before, but just adding towards this, because we are in the transfer news segment and whatnot, people. We are very lucky because we're at a football club that every time I've spoken to players, they want to be part of it. I think overall, we're already so strong that we can attract any player. City fans forcing O'Reilly versus MLS comparisons. Arsenal's the benchmark now. Most hated and rated. They don't rate us club. They don't rate our manager. They don't rate our players. Any emerging winger, we know who they're compared to at our club. You know, Miles Lewis-Skelly is fresh out of the academy womb. We ain't even slapped his bum like if he was a baby to pause to breathe. And there's them things going on. All I know is my guy did it against them youth's very club and the celebration. My guy did it times 2 against Real Madrid. We don't know these guys. I don't know who is O'Reilly. What, a man did it against Bournemouth, a rotated Bournemouth side. Who were these youths? Big up you. How the hell do you know City fans? I had to think, man. That's an easy one. We're still not 100 likes, though. That's an easy one. We are very lucky because we're at a football club that every time I've spoken to players, they want to be part of it. I think overall, we're already so strong that we can attract any player. Well, if we got the money for any players, another thing. Berta was in attendance at Portman Road versus Ipswich. This guy's just wavy, bro. This guy's wavy. Looks a bit like Calafiori here, innit? There's just something about you, man. Don't let me down, Berta, you know. Because there's just something about you. You just seem quite cool, man. Like, I know you mean business. Mikel Arteta expects transfer surprises. I mean, he did cover this before the game, but again, adding context and flavor to the rumors and whatnot, people. Arteta believes Andrea Berta will bring more ideas and surprises. We all know we hired him at the end of last month after he spent close to, almost 12 years at Bilbao. He's replaced Edu. Specifically, the manager said those summer transfer plans were already discussed with him. But yes, I hope he has many more ideas, plans and surprises, positive ones, and his experience, his creativity, his intuition as well to help us make the right calls. I think it's an opportunity. Someone else comes in with different ideas, different methods, different ways of working, and other priorities as well in the way that they work. I think this makes us better. Is that shots at Edu? I wouldn't say so, but, you know, devil's advocate. Berta was described by Arsenal as a hugely respected figure in football, which is true. Do you know what I find interesting, though? Maybe it's just a timing thing. Maybe I'm wrong. But when's Berta's interview? That's why I rate him more. Just straight business. I don't want to talk, do buzzwords, bro. Pattern up my thing and tell me how much we're working with. Show me the plans that you already have in place. Okay, I fuck with that. I'm going to get that one there over the line. All right, maybe this striker, nah. Gyökeres, okay, Gyökeres has gone somewhere else. Sesko not ready. Do this. Let's move, man. Let's move. But, you know, Josh Kroenke did say on him, anyone who knows football knows Berta is an impressive figure. He has a vast knowledge of the game, a great track record, a strong network, and an insatiable desire to build winning teams. want to get excited, but yeah. Andrea will be a great addition to our club. He understands our values, what we stand for, and we have no doubt he'll help us push on and take the next steps in our bid to win major trophies. We undertook the thorough recruitment process and we were hugely impressed with the level of all the other candidates, but it was Andrea's experience and success he has enjoyed that stood out. We're looking really forward to working together and welcoming him into the Arsenal family. I mean, we've done welcomed him. I mean, we're waffling about strikers and attackers, and Trossard needs to do more, and Martinelli, and We got 100 goals across all comps this season, people. It's a bit weird and completely off topic, but I mean weird. It's not weird because I've seen Arteta play for my club, be a coach against my club of sorts, and now you're managing my club. But I don't know what's going on at Cardiff, people. Apparently, Aaron Ramsey will take charge as Cardiff City's head coach for the remaining 3 games of the Championship season after the club sacked Omer Issa. I remember when we signed you as like a 17, 18-year-old lad, and, Man United put it on their YouTube. It definitely wasn't YouTube, on their website and all of that stuff. And we hijacked it during what Euros? It might have been Euros 08. Football's weird, man. To see you got to get that job full time, man. I need to see you and Jack Wilshere one day facing off against each other. And obviously we know about Cesc Fabregas and all of that, people. So yeah, completely off topic and left field. I mean, it's the same old at this point, but Arsenal are planning to sign a world-class midfielder this summer to replace Jorginho and Thomas Partey. Bruno Gomes and Martin Zubimendi are their top 2 targets for the position. Would you define Gomes and Zubimendi as world-class at this moment in time? Quality. If they want to sign, I'm being greedy. Both of them. Imagine having both of them and Rice and Marino in the squad, and the options of mixing and blending with Odegaard, with Wanyeri, with Lewis Skelly, forcing it, but Zinchenko, etc., etc. Ironically, Kivio's played in midfield at one point in Italy, and Ben White can play in midfield, but we're yet to see that. Arsenal have reached out to try and finalize a deal to sign Nico Williams after learning from Barcelona's decision to withdraw from the race. But you can withdraw and get back in. Nico Williams has suggested he wants to stay with Bilbao and play for them in the Champions League next season if they qualify. Listen, I like Nico Williams. I think he's an unpolished gem, but any fugazi stuff, just go find another winger, man. And again, we don't know what's being said. But 1 minute you're on leaving, you want to play in the Prem, then you want to go Barca, then you want to stay at Bilbao. Rightly so, there's nothing wrong with it, because I think I want to help them, get to a final in our own stadium. Now it's if we qualify for the Champions League, which I hear it. You're 22, I know in today's day and age, if you're a half-decent 16, 17-year-old, even younger now, where you look at that JJ guy at Man United, or you look at Max Dolman, barely teenagers, exaggeration, but barely teenagers, and people know about them. Ryan Cherky, talented teenager. Everyone loves him again, but was seen as kind of damaged goods already in his career. So I know it's like that, but at the same time, he's 22. The move is going to happen. And you're being able to develop I won't say without pressure, but without the pressure that comes with the traditional big clubs. So there's bare whispers. Arteta allegedly, according to the Daily Star, has given the all clear for a move for athletics clubs, Nico Williams, people. Zubimendi is prioritizing a move to Real Madrid this summer. They are very interested and are said to have explained their plans to Zubimendi, people. Arsenal have turned to Brentford's Nathan Collins as a transfer target for the defense this summer. Unpopular opinion, I'm on that. As part of the squad, I'm on that. I think he's a good player. I would say Brighton, but I would say more Brentford and Bournemouth. Just because of the way they play and the manager sets up, I think there's a lot of intangibles. And he had a bloody good game against us. I'm having that as part of the squad. Chelsea allegedly have joined Arsenal and Liverpool in the race to sign Ajax 19-year-old defender Joel Hatter. We've heard that before. Allegedly, Real Madrid have drawn up a 2-man shortlist that they see as the perfect Toni Kroos successors. Rodri and Martin Zubimendi. They should get both, man. Should get both, really. Allegedly, Liverpool have identified Morgan Rogers as a key summer transfer target and are determined to beat Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, and PSG to his signature. I mean, I hope Arsenal are interested. Everyone's going to be interested in some various degree of good players. Morgan Rogers would cook at Arsenal. There's a video during his days playing in the under-18s for West Brom against us, and I said we need to sign this guy. It's funny how life works out, in it. Talented player. Allegedly, Arsenal and Liverpool target Isaac is expected to stay at Newcastle this summer because his fee would be high. Oh, look at me, I'm Newcastle. We ended our trophy drought after 70 years. Mike Ashley's gone. We've got, foreign owners, and we got Isaac. I'm just jealous. We have been linked with Dean Heisen before. Apparently, he's given himself a month to decide on his future, but wants to stay in the Premier League next season. I mean, everywhere you read, though, realistically, he's twerking for Real Madrid. Off him skinning out his batty for Real Madrid. Oh, I love Madrid. My friend said to sign for Madrid, blah, blah, blah. We've gone over the twin brothers. I ain't going to claim to have ever seen them. But South American, twins, Bandulu hairstyles. What you lot on there? You lot wingers? Okay, one's a winger, one's an attacking midfielder. I need to see videos. I need to see step overs and flip flaps and just bare South American stuff. Barcelona will try to sign Gyökeres. They'll look to use the money from the potential sales of Ferran Torres and Araujo to buy Victor Gyökeres. I mean, anyone that wants to be a striker, big up Lewandowski, but the chance to play for Barcelona is one in itself. And Lewandowski ain't going to be there forever, especially if Hansi Flick's there and it's the high intensity playing. Like if you're Gyökeres or half of these strikers, even Isaac, whether Barca can afford you or not, it's another thing. But got a little sweet gig. To a degree, I would say Bayern Munich's Harry Kane as well, because I'm not saying that they're slowing down anytime soon, but they can't be there forever. So we have to see. It's funny though, because every now and again, the Gyökereses, the Nico Williams, they all get linked with Real Madrid, in which Real Madrid can get these players. You can never have too many good players, 1,000,000%. But look at the bro, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Mbappe, such as their quality. I've missed one. But moving on, Ollie Watkins became the first English player to score 15 plus Premier League goals this season yesterday. Good player, man. Good player. And I think he'll be on the move. You never know. Next season could be next season. But he said he's been very unhappy with not playing under Emery. Emery's been speaking. Obviously, his contract's running down. Was linked with us in January. No doubt going to get linked with us again. Assuming that he continues to struggle for first team football. You got a World Cup next year. Something, food for thought. Allegedly, Gyökeres has already picked his next club. Gyökeres has been subject to a transfer raid from Chelsea, but the sporting player already knows where he wants to play football next season. 47 goals in 46 games. Crazy. And for me, Gyökeres would be a statement from me, from Arsenal, purely because he's 26. That tells me obviously you're 26. Lewandowski, Benzema up until recent, Ronaldo, Salah, Kane, guys of various ability. Like there's Modric, there's I guess it all comes down to how you look after yourself and that. But there's guys that would be described as pensioners in football terms, still doing their thing. So I'm not saying just because you're 26, oh my God, he's done. But it would tell me Arsenal on this win now mode thing. Like he's ready for now. He understands the job for now. Clearly, if we signed him, then Arteta thinks, away from obviously being able to put the ball in the back of the net in an incredible amount of times, which we'd love to see 47 goals for Arsenal, you can do all the other facets. Because again, I'm not backing Arteta in the sense of, yeah, you need a peculiar striker. I'm just putting it out there. Like, if you look at who has led the line for this football club, with Aubameyang, exception to Aubameyang, who he didn't buy, and Lacazette, who he didn't buy, if being a clinical bagsman was the thing, then necessarily you don't. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus, we're trying to give you that platform to do that, but you could never describe Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal or City for all his qualities as clinical, right? I think people diss Eddie, but you've got Gabriel Jesus, Eddie Nketiah, the sequences of events that have led to Kai Havertz playing up front and Marino playing up front. If scoring goals was the be-all and end-all, these men are not leading the line for Arsenal. We need someone who's going to score goals, but it's also occupying the centre backs, dropping into midfield, working the channels, link up play, all of that kind of jazz, people, as you lot know. What club has he decided? The Lisbon club were determined to hold on to their ace last summer as they demanded a price for more than 100 million for him, which was significant to keep the likes of Arsenal at bay. But as the Sweden international's form has picked up, his transfer fee has dropped due to an agreement with the player to allow him to depart should a suitable offer around the value of 70 to 80 million euros be tabled. Given Gyökeres has an estimated transfer value, ETV, of 75 million euros, this looks like a good price. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man United are all closely associated with the player, who Ebola claims has already made his mind up over a transfer this summer. He prefers Arsenal to Chelsea. The Portuguese source states that while the Blues are making a comparatively late effort to sign Gyökeres, he preferred to sign for Arsenal over Liverpool or City. I mean, City got Ireland. A move to Chelsea, however, should not be ruled out entirely. The Stamford Bridge club pulled off something of a transfer miracle to stop Quenda from joining Man United by signing him themselves. They're just playing real life Football Manager, really. This was achieved by allowing the teenager to remain another season in Portugal, which was something the Red Devils were not willing to do. It's unclear what kind of type of leverage that Chelsea might try to use over Arsenal. I mean, they know them, innit? They've done business with them, so they might be ahead in that regard of Arsenal, who are currently in a stronger sporting position than the Stamford Bridge club, and have quite clearly made Gyökeres their centre forward target since Berta arrived as sporting director. I mean, honestly, said that. The Gunners therefore hold all the cards when it comes to signing the sporting hitman and finally signing the high-scoring 9 that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta's side so desperately needs. I mean, when I see him hold a shirt, why not? Apparently, Arsenal target Garcia has been described as the Lionel Messi of goalkeepers, people. And he's been linked with everyone on their nan. Man United, Arsenal, Leverkusen, Real Madrid, everybody. Apparently, we have a goalkeeper who makes the difference. This is like when Barcelona had Messi. He's going to be a world reference, and I'm happy for him as a professional and as a person. He did say, apparently, this is Garcia. At the moment, I'm not thinking about it, but you never know. If it happens, let it happen in the best way. If in the end it turns out that I have to leave, how can I not say goodbye properly? Espanyol is the club that has given me everything. If I leave through the back door, it wouldn't go well with me. Fair play, man. Apparently, Gyökeres has downplayed rumors he'll join Arsenal this summer. What specifically has he said? No one can predict what will happen. We enjoy the moment. He said, I like Lisbon after being questioned. He said, I can't say anything about it when asked about the transfer fee. I mean, he's going to play diplomatic. It don't make no sense to go and chat. Nico Williams has seemingly hinted he will reject Arsenal and remain at Bilbao until at least another season. We've heard that before. I mean, if you want to stay, stay. My thing is, bro, if you want to stay, great. Go find me a next left wing. I don't want to hear we tried and whatnot. We have the goal of winning the Europa League and next year to cross the Champions League little by little. I think our motto of going on the down low is the best. We're doing very well and we need to continue like this to reach the final, to continue this streak, to help the team. The team is extraordinary. I hope you win against Man United in the semis, but then again, boy, well, anyone who if Spurs get to the final, boy, I hope they don't win. I don't want to write off Bodo Glimt, but I'm sure they're not the bookies' favorite. Well, they did win on penalties against Lazio, though. We're going to celebrate this victory. San Mems deserves it more than anyone. We're doing very well to reach the semi-final. We want one more step before the final, and hopefully we can get there. Fair enough, man. He's got a deal until 2027. There's even been rumors of a lifetime contract in which, obviously, if you're Bilbao, apparently they've got a difficult sporting director, right? But if you're Bilbao, you need to pattern up that release clause. What do you mean you've got a 22-year-old that all the Premier League is interested in, quote-unquote, Barca one, and he's got a release clause in the region of 50-odd million, where shitter players are going for less? And fundamentally, Premier League clubs got money. If you put something ridiculous like 100 million, then some might, but everybody knows they're not going to pay 100 million. They're going to negotiate, bidding wars, etc. So we have to see. He remains happy. Apparently, he's open to the idea of snubbing Arsenal, Chelsea, and Barcelona by signing an extension. Meanwhile, the Sun claimed that Williams would demand a weekly salary of close to 300,000 in order to join Arsenal this summer. And although he is Arsenal's priority target, there are some doubts over whether they could afford that outlay in addition to the other transfer plans. He scored 11 goals and got 7 assists in 41 appearances. Ironically, I think he's actually picked up an injury, if I'm honest. Let's move that. What else have we got here? Bro, Chris Kavanagh, you're right, bro. You're right. Saka was put in danger. He was a victim of a stupid tackle. Stupid tackle. Chris Kavanagh was ideally positioned with a good viewing angle to see and recognize that challenge on the back of Saka's Achilles, bringing him to the ground. It was a challenge that had a degree of malice and force. It was unnecessary and it endangered the safety of the opponent. Thankfully, Chris Kavanagh acted correctly and quickly. I mean, broken clocks right today. All we want is the refs to make the right decisions and consistent decisions. And yes, if we're going to get on to the referees when they get things wrong, then yeah, big up you for getting it done right. But one, do I want to praise you for doing your job? As much as I waffle about Saka scoring goals, at the same time, that is your job. The refs, that is your job. And likewise, Arsenal and every team in this Premier League could bring up likewise challenges with a more of degree of force that haven't resulted in a red card. You know, Tarkowski the other week. And I'm sure there was other games. So we'll have to see, man. Arsenal could have an interesting situation developing with Ben White. Oh, here we go. Timber's doing well. Ben White's been injured. He's been a regular and whatnot. We might have to sell him. I bet that's what. I hope I'm wrong. Man. Ben White's unexpected precedent at Arsenal. What have you said? This could be very well be a curious case of Benjamin White. He has been such a pivotal and important player under Arteta during his Arsenal project, but sometimes needs must. White has never let Arsenal down, amen. But Timber, is now fit and looks even better than the club hoped. He can play everywhere, left, and even CDM, but he's at home at right back. Probably played the most games as a centre-half in his career at this point. And as it stands, looks better fit than White. Then there's the emergence of Lewis Skelly, so Timber isn't needed as much on the left, while there's also Calafiori who takes up another defensive. So I think it's a Tomiyasu that should be scared, even though I love him. One thing I find interesting is Arsenal is looking for another defender. Henson and Nathan Phillips are two they are looking at, and they insist they want them to complement Saliba and Gabriel. I find it interesting as it seems White won't or isn't going to be used in that role. I think White's situation is one to look at. What do you lot think of that? I don't know for my thoughts. And yeah, man, I love Tommy, but at the end of the day, you're not needed as much at left back or at centre. I think you are, but Lewis Skelly's emergence. Calafiori's been brought in. Kivior's rising in prominence. Gabriel and Saliba. Benjamin White can play everywhere. Timber can play everywhere. We might be looking at another defender, you know, whether it's a left back that can play center, whether it's a left back outright or a centre back right sided or left sided outright, or that can play on either side. It's a needs must thing. And I don't mind Ben White, Tommy, these guys indirectly becoming squad players. It raises the level of things, people. What has Williams said? I bet this is the same thing. Every kid wants to play at Old Trafford. We have the goal of winning the Europa League and next year to cross the Champions League little by little. Oh, we've gone over that already. So yeah, he's going to keep being linked with us. Arsenal interested in Bilbao. And you know what? These outlets get me, man. They say the same things in different words. Arsenal have generational ace ready to replace 310k per week. Joe, good thinking. Lewis Skelly, I bet this is about him in midfield. Would love to see him exposed in midfield, but he's still learning the tricks and trades of the game. He's still earning his chops. There's nothing really to read into there. Arteta is reportedly eyeing more than just Nico Williams. Who has he been linked with here? According to Spanish outlet El Nacional, Arsenal are not hoping to stop their raid of Bilbao at just Williams, with Arteta is also looking at attacking midfielder, I can never say his name, Orhan Senet as an absolute priority. You know what? He can score a lot of goals, not a lot of goals, but he can chip in on the goal front. He does pick up a lot of injuries, though. I think I might be making this all up, but I'm sure he picks up a lot of injuries. Sanchez, again, you're not going to have to forgive me, has 15 goals from 17 starts in La Liga this season. The 24-year-old's unusual profile of being a physical and intelligent midfielder with a goal-scoring pedigree has led to be described as, that's not spell Arteta, but Arteta's midfield obsession as an alternative to Martin Ødegaard. I'm reading two things at once, playmaking. Arsenal are aware that a deal won't be easy due to the player's affinity to Bilbao and the Basque club, usually being unwilling to negotiate below any buyout clauses, with Sanchez's alleged value closer to 80 million euros. But there is hope that Sanchez will be tempted by the opportunity to take another step in his career at an attacking and competitive Premier League club, suggesting that Athletic may have to fight on their hands to keep Arsenal away from their star duo. We're considering a move. He joined their academy at 15. He made his debut in 2019. He had a breakout campaign in 2022-23. He played in all but 2 of his side's league matches, scoring 10 times. Yeah, big him up then. Bring him. You know what? Apparently his league tally this season would put him 6 goals ahead of Arsenal's top goal scorer, which is probably more damning on us. While the Gunners are expected to sign a number 9 this summer, the Bilbao man would be a proven option to provide an outlet for midfield in tight areas. Much could depend on Arsenal's pursuit of a striker or Williams, who has hinted he may not be ready to leave Bilbao this summer. But Arteta's admiration for Sanchez, I believe, indicates the player could be targeted for a move to North London in the near future. So yeah, man, that's what you want to hear, but really and truly. That's just me finding my own TikToks. Make sure you're following on TikTok. So yeah, that ends the transfer kind of section, people. Let me see what you lot are saying. I take all W's. One love, my dude. Why can't we have 2 top right backs? Every team has squad depth. The season is long. I like Sanchez, but I'm not sure about his capability to create consistently. Players to keep, just my opinion: Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, White, Skelly, Calafiori, Partey, Marino, Rice, Saka, Wanyeri. Any gaps from that are what we need to bring in. Fair play. Smash the likes if you haven't. White doesn't care about football, so he'll gladly stay on the bench. I mean, you really think a professional footballer that's clearly got a mean streak and competitive in England international, playing for Arsenal under Arteta, really doesn't care about football? He might not care to watch it. He might not care about watching it on TV, which I don't care about that if he doesn't. Like, as long as you're ready, I've never had to question Ben White's professionalism, wanting it, being in the cause. Pick him up, though, man. Not Spurs, bro. Have some self-respect. Huysen. Lewis, one love, Huysen. Hey, pronunciation police coming in clutch. Keep both White and Kivior both excellent defenders. Rodrigo, Gyökeres, Saka with Rodgers and Rice behind will cook. You're living a movie with that one. I'm still selling Kivior even if we win the champs. No, I'll keep White. He gives the team something different from right wing. Kivior is off myself in the summer list. I think he means sell. Said before the Madrid ties, now is when we need who should stay and who needs upgrading. Martinelli must not prove this is not one of his usual purple patches. I hear you, man. Told you, bro, it was intentional and reckless. I hear it, man. Either way, fuck that left back, bro. I want Spurs to win the Europa League, man. They desperately need a trophy. Bun Man United, that's the ops. I hate them mugs. Damn, twerking for Spurs is crazy. Donnarumma is a beef on regen. Oh, now man are saying the Messi of goalies. What happened to just labeling a goalie the next level Yasin or something? I don't know. Why not just say he's a good keeper? To be fair, happy Easter Sunday as well. Maybe it's just mind games, man. Arsenal have a Deje, a very good natural striker, but Arteta doesn't play him. I wouldn't say it's stupid, but for me, big up Nathan. I think you need to move. A couple of you and Haaland need to move on and go get minutes, man. Oh yeah, Deji snapshot in the box. That's what missing. That's what a natural striker. It's a shame he never scored, you know. Bro, we don't need potential players. We need ready ones now. I just want to win. Don't care about these transfers anymore. Win things, doesn't matter how. Want Cherky, insane ability and output, or Franco Mustantano. He's a ball of the River Plate lad. But you know Real Madrid and them clubs, their hands are all over that, man. It is what it is, man. Come on, shout out my Bajans in the cup, man. Where's the Choco Benito? Hey, allow me. We're in geezer mode. Rodgers should be Arsenal's #1 target in midfield. If you want someone from Bilbao, go for Sanchez. Graham, you might get what you wish. DG, give me a quick rundown on Saka if you haven't spoken on it. Arteta said there's nothing to worry about. Probably, you know, it's defo gonna hurt. Defo got a bruise, but he'd be all right. Aaron Ramsey, one of Wenger's students, best of luck in his coaching role, even if it's only 3 games. Ramsey, underrated baller. That's true. I remember seeing Raul Sanllehi and Vinay's interviews about different knock, and we signed Pepe. I told man Pepe's a thing. Arsenal do love an interview. Maybe it's just we ain't got around to it. Maybe Berta said I'm not really on that. Maybe in the summer it's a time to sit down and do the talk. Maybe around the tour and when we're on tour and whatnot. I don't know. I just find it interesting that I've actually never sat down and heard from Berta. Like, I don't even know what he sounds like. Berta was the guy behind Simeone, weren't he? Berta has aura. Cherky for 25 is a still guy, is 100 million plus talent at market opportunity, chance, creation, flair, audacious. Bring him. What do you think is a better player? Fully fit Timber or fully fit Tommy? Timber. But Tommy's my guy, man. We should get Rodrigo if Madrid sell him. Should throw a hat in the ring. I definitely think Prem teams should adopt a buy first mentality when it comes to marquee signings. Everyone knows the Prem has all the P's. So if you make it public, you've sold X, Y, and Z to get X signings. The selling clubs are going to throw on the extra mil as they know your current cash cow, which is true. But I actually think generally in the world of football, not us fans, but in the world of football, nobody knows what anyone's doing. But like to a degree, I think everybody in the Prem kind of knows. Because football, you got to remember, football's a small world. Everybody knows someone. Everybody kind of knows who's in for a player, who's backed away from a player, who's selling, who needs to sell, who's close to FFP, whose financial position is a lot stronger than what's said in the public. So yeah, man. Yeah, pause, man. Geezer mode, mate. DG the Stoner. What's that? Juventus tried to sign him in the summer. Unpopular opinion, I want Liverpool to win at the Emirates. Let the boys taste the disappointment and see who stands up. Fans don't want to hear it, but we need another centre-back. Golair would ball out. But surely they do the Martin Ødegaard thing where maybe they sell, maybe, but surely they loan him out for a year or two before they say, you know what, safe. Ugatike looks closer to Isaac than any target. Smash the like button, people. Stop being frauds. Amen. Don't get me wrong. I've wanted a Saka backup for the longest, but you got to sell someone on the idea they won't ever play if Saka isn't on crutches. Let Wanyeri do that, man. I mean, if you sign Nico Williams, like, unpopular opinion, I don't think we need to sign. Like, you don't need to sign a winger that is a Saka backup, if that makes sense. Like, it would have been interesting to see if we got Rafinha when we did, because he, at the time, predominantly played off the right. Obviously, Hansi Flick's tweaked it a bit. Maybe that's an inkling as to maybe what Arteta could have done if you got both of them. But I don't think you need to sign. I like Kudus. I'll have Kudus tomorrow. He can play in bare roles. But when we're linked with, rightly with what you're saying, when we're linked with wingers that are primarily off the right-hand side, you never know, but I take it with a pinch of salt. I don't think we need to buy a winger for that. I think we need one that's more likely to play on the left. And also indirectly, Saka is going to play 9 times out of 10. And you got Wanyeri already, which is a solution, who can get minutes off that right-hand side, whether he's going to develop as a right winger, a 10, an 8, a 9, that's one thing, right? I don't agree with it because I think Martinelli's better off the left than the right, even though at a point this season he looked better off the right. But you, on paper, you've got, well, if he's fit, Gabriel Jesus, who could play off the right. Obviously, we just spoke about Wanyeri could play off the right. Trossard, who can play on the right, and it's doing a job. Because again, God forbid, unless Saka is out for a number of months, you're not going to do anything more than do a job. If you sign Nico Williams, clearly you want him on the left, but you could play on the right. So I think that's also the carrot, and it's a bit mad because if Martinelli was doing at least of half of what Saka's done on a consistent basis, We are probably just talking about a backup winger, to be fair. It's hard, but money helps. That Champs League money going to be nice. I hope it is, man. I think a lot of people underestimate how hard it is to get someone to play second fiddle in competitive sport. True. DG, the fact the lack of depth was mentioned and we didn't act in the summer, that's pure incompetence. Saka broke the record for most consecutive PL in Arsenal's history. It was due, unfortunately, innit? Timber's quality when healthy and consistency was levels at Ajax. You guys have a good 11, but no depth. Exactly. That's our issue. And I know, as much as I'm a champion of, in an ideal world, you want 2 great players or 2 good players in every position. It's not how it works out, innit? But we need more depth. We've got a good 11. We've got a 19-man squad, as Arteta said. I think we got a good 15, 16. We need to indirectly upgrade. Exactly, certain players improve each other. Very good chemistry between the two. Saka loves giving him assists. Nice to see Trossard almost return the favor today. People don't care about relationships everything's about relations. Kivior and Saliba's relationship is improving. You know, there's almost sub teams in one team. So you got 11 players out there. If you divide it from the defensive third, so everyone, you know, Raya and the front four ahead of him, the midfield, and then the final third, and then they all kind of interlap. It's all about relationships. How the goalie is with the back four, how the right back and the right-sided centre half and the others on the other side connect, how the wingers connect with the wingers, with the fullbacks, how the fullbacks talk to their centre backs, how the 6, you know, communicates with the defensive third, how the 8 talks to the 6, how the 8 and the 6 talk to each other. Like Rice, obviously Rice makes those third man runs, he's all action, but football's also about common sense, you know. You know, if Lewis Skelly is inverted, then you can be a bit higher. You know, if Lewis Skelly at that particular action is playing as a traditional left back, you might have to cover that space. We all know this because we've all kicked ball at some level, but people don't, because that's not sexy in football. As much as Arsenal need new signings, there's a lot Arteta needs to do, and he knows this, on a tactical front to evolve us. There's a lot of, you know, we want to make our players that we've got even better. Rice has become even better and more complete. That's not sexy in the British game. That we need to sign, but the solution is always buying. It's everything. I feel Trossard and Saka's relationship is a thing, you know, they play well together. Odegaard is a link-up player. He was used to Saka's movement. Odegaard is still in poor form, but seems to be slowly getting back. Same for Nelly. I hear it. On targets have probably changed it to him after. I did think it would have went down as an own goal, man. Wanjeri's goal deflected twice, so I was expecting an own goal, but they gave it to him. Shaq has finished like on the playground, man. Odegaard at his best is unplayable. He'll be back. He needs to, man. Saka is still effective, but he has no GA. Yeah, the Real Madrid in the first leg game. Extended knee when feet is planted is risky too. It is, man. Gave them no chance. DG, they gave the goal to Wanjeri. Happy with this, man. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. It weren't late. It was intentional. I mean, the ref is saying one thing. The ref expert is saying one thing. Arteta is saying it weren't intentional. I'll never know, man. It's fine for players to hold bench in a 60-game season, but everyone can't play every week, man. Zinni assisted well. I like Zinni, man. But yeah, lowest rated is peak. Onana would be calm then. Right, had nothing to do. I want my keeper to be there. Oh, wait, I said, no. Just got him in. Onana, you're good. Onana, you're good where you are, man. You're at the biggest club in England. What are your expectations, DG, for this year and next? It's a very difficult question to answer. What do you mean by that? I expect us to wake up every day with the intention of getting better. I expect us to not rest on our laurels. I expect us to, you know, I expect to wake up. I hope to wake up if God will bless me. And I expect to give everything I have to reach 70,000 subscribers. Smash the like button. If you're talking about Arsenal, then clearly we want to be a team that wins trophies. What is a trophy? I don't know. You could define that as, you know, simply put, lifting silverware. But seeing some of these players who have been down in their luck in a good health and good moment, seeing the fan base fraction and a bit united now, that could be defined as winning the league. Yes, it's far too late for me to do the PR thing. My expectations, you've been given a golden opportunity. You're one of 4 teams in the Champions League. Just do your utmost best to bring that home and have, regardless of how it goes down against PSG, have no regrets in that 2 legs, and hopefully we get to the final. Next season, of course, you want to get over the line in the Premier League. You want to go as far as you can in the Champs. I want to pick up the win silver, innit? The British media just like players that run around like headless chickens for 90 minutes. That's dead a lot. True. You think Trossard, Martinelli, or Saka get double digits in the Prem by the end of the season? It's a joke. No one's there 33 games in. What? Trossard's on 6, innit? Or is that Trossard's on 6? I'm not sure. I'd have to put all the eggs. Let me actually check. I'd have to put all my eggs in Saka's basket, in it like that. That's what I'd feel the safest with. Let me see the statistics though, man. To be fair, if Moreno's got 6 or so goals, maybe, you know, that's just 2 races. Go to goals. Let's change that to Arsenal because that's all we want to know. Has the screen shared? It's madness, isn't it? Like, no one's on double figures. Saka's on 6, but obviously he missed a number of seasons. I mean, if Kai Havertz is back before the end of the season, I back him to bag. So that would be 10. Fuck it. Martinelli and Saka. Martinelli, Saka, Trossard. Because they're at that weird stage now. I hope it continues. Purple patch, all of that kind of stuff. Just ride that form. Maybe not so much Marino. You know what? Martinelli, Trossard, Saka, F it, man. We're speaking it into existence. They're going to do that. We're speaking it into existence. They're going to do that. They got that. 4 more likes until we hit 100, man. We basically relegated Ipswich today. It was a frustration tackle, which made it reckless. Seen this way too many times in passes. And nasty, bro. Let's be real, yeah. If this was Sunday League, a tackle like that, I don't advocate violence, but we all know what's going to happen in the car park or even immediately. Like, it's nasty, it's senseless, it's dangerous. Big up DG. Why haven't you been telling us about this Cherky brother? Saw some comps of him and he's a baller. DG strikes again. I wish, man. I wish, man. I just watch football. I'm wrong a lot of the time. Happen to be right about his talent. I love him, man. I just don't know if teams are sold on you away from your ability. Like, all the, you know, football's systemic now, and you got to be able to run and do all these things. He's almost like a throwback player, Bobby Dazzler, a guy that you couldn't get a ball off in a phone box. Really and truly. What have you said? What's Martinelli on? 7. How many games we got? 33. Come on, Nelly, man. Yeah, man. You know what? We're going to talk into existence. Big up for getting to 100 likes. Keep smashing the like button. Appreciate you lot, man. Without you lot, the channel's dead, so I appreciate it. Big up my guy, Marcel. See, when he's not trolling, he's a normal guy. DG, how many players do you think the club will bring in, and how many do you think is needed, in your opinion? How many we bring in? I can't give you an answer. If I had to, how many I think we bring in, if I had to try and answer it or guesstimate as best as I can for you, bro. I think we will. I don't know who these guys would be, but I think there will be a winger. I think there will be a striker, and I think there will be a centre mid, and I think there will be a goalie of such. So I'm willing to bet on 4. I might even say 5 if a left back, but I don't know for the left. I just think these will be it. So I'm going to say 4 to 5. And for me, I think you need all of those roles, but I'd also say, can you get a third choice goalie? Because I want the young goalies that are at the club. I don't think Carl Hines going to be here. You need to go play football. I want the young goalies, the Tommy Setfords, all them guys, go play football, bro. It's fun and game. It's all fun and games, training and whatnot, but you need to play. And you lot are not going to play. So go and get me like a not Scott Carson, but someone, like, you get what I'm saying, innit? Like someone that helps us with the homegrown rules. We're linked with Dan Bentley of Wolves last summer. Are we going to revisit that? Who ironically came through Arsenal's academy. So I'd say for me, another goalie. I would say I would like 2 centre mids, whether that's a 6 and an 8, 2 8s, a Odegaard 8.5, 10-ish kind of guy, and a 6. I would say 2 centre mid. So I'd say an additional goalie, an additional centre mid. If it was really what I'd like another striker, I must admit, like a project guy. So you got your Gyökeres and you got your project kind of guy. Going back to the left back thing, if you can get me a versatile Tomiyasu Timber kind of one that can fill across, that'd be great. But hopefully that answers your thing. Odegaard has been missing creativity for a year. Is Odegaard back based on Ipswich is shameless? We shameless this week. Most likely this summer, I think Rodrigo, Bukayo for Arsenal. I think Rodrigo is done and they're done with him. Need a new system, and Bukayo doesn't want an extension due to not being a guarantee. Can we just ask the question about do they end up? Last summer transfer window was a joke. Now Alberta has a lot to do in the summer. We have Ethan Goal out for a striker. Tommy is a baller, shutdown fullback. Sad he's so hurt. It's just a shame we never see him, man. Would you agree now our gap is back to 6 points from third? We should drop Saka, Saliba, Kivio, Rice, Marino for Palace. I think if we go through, we do the damage in the home leg. Nah, Because one, who the hell is going to play with all of them guys dropped? Two, the spine of the team is going to look horrible because Kivior and who? Ben White and then Timber, you're going to have to bring them on at some point. No. Marino, I think you're good to play. I would entertain the idea of Saka not necessarily starting though. But and you know what, it'd be Saka first. I would love for Rice to be given some moments off, even though for me, I'm starting Rice. I'm starting Saliba, Kivior, Rice, Marino. Saka is the one I might think, oh, you know what, Kamwanyeri got out there. If I'm honest. Apparently, Berta rarely does interviews. Bro, Berta, just be you, innit? Just be you. As long as the sign is coming, you give your interviews or you don't give no interviews. He doesn't care to watch football, but he's always been committed to Arsenal because Ben White, man, are acting saying otherwise. Cherky, Bunt, Odegaard, 25 mil for 100 plus talent. And with MLS inverting and Rice running, Phil, you can make up for running. And he does not run like people make out, just not his strongest attribute. And he's young enough to learn, but the willingness. And I've said this before with Cherky. You've got the talent. You've got the talent. That's got you here. But you see, if you really want to fulfill your potential, like obviously I'm not saying he's Cristiano Ronaldo, but if he had that, I don't know if he does, but if he had that, you see how Cristiano Ronaldo, you see, man, you know, running in the morning and jumping in cold baths and all of that stuff. If Cherky was on that, the world's your oyster. I'm not saying you can win Ballon d'Ors and do all of this. You could be one of the best players in the world. You really could. There's nothing you can't do. Two-footed, showman, temperament is good as well. Everything to like about him. DJ, it kills me thinking this manager wants our players to work so hard on and off the ball all day, every day, but doesn't build a big enough squad to keep it up throughout the season. Then they're going to have to think that, man. Minor Andy, man. Minor Andy. Eddie was supposed to get us the Brazilian players, but he failed. White hides injuries to play football. How people think he don't care. Well, big up yourself, Mr. Link. Smash the likes and all of that. Happy Easter as well. Hey, Karma, big up you, man. Our favorite mod. I was about to say something silly, but yeah, I'm not going to. Liverpool pass and shoot first time. Arsenal doesn't do that much. Only today Trossard did that. We need more Eduardo de Silva discoveries from our scouting and DOF. I hear that. Why can't we sign Musantano? Bro, I'm on that. South America. I'm on signing players for right now. But also, if you could get a little Nepan, get the little River Plate, you get these guys off tomorrow. If they become guys that can help us in the short and medium and long term, great. If they develop and they become good and they're not quite ready or they're not good enough, but they're good enough to have careers, let's just exaggerate. But if you sign someone for 10 million, you make them worth 50 million, keep it moving, reinvest, and will it? Palace will be playing the second team. They have the semi at the weekend. It's a dead game, DG. Yeah, I mean, you're putting all your eggs in that. Telemans has been great this season, and yeah, he was linked with us. It seems to be like a missed one, man. Yeah, Nelly will get 10 and Saka. I hope so. Family, don't forget who we are. We are the Arsenal. Amen. Every player we bring in will be able to play 2-3 different positions and roles. Arteta is not interested in a specialist. 3 players max this summer. Boy, I hope not. I think we need a lot more, but yeah, man. I hope so, man. But there's a lot to get done, man, and we just have to get it done. It's as simple as that. It just has to get done, man. It really does. DG, if we sign Williams, who is your alternatives? I'd take Barcelona from Sociedad. I like him. I don't think he's that. I'll take a chance on players. I more just want players who could play out there then. So you see what you could do for Bueno, see what you could do for Adeyemi. Have a conversation about Lookman. Because all the other ones I want, like, bro, they're all at big clubs, man. Like, they're all at big clubs, man. All at big clubs. I don't want to bore you lot, though, man. It's 4 minutes past 12 a.m. in the United Kingdom. I'm sure you're bored of me waffling today. So I'll big up you lot who have watched my match reaction, been here now. Obviously, we did a watch along and continues to support me. Now, I should be live for Monday, the Monday Madness show at 4 p.m. Anything Arsenal related, you know we're live. All you got to do is turn on your notification bells. As usual, big up yourselves, people. Thank you for tuning in. Smash the like button and subscribe. I hope you've all had a great weekend. And I hope you and your family stay safe, man. We link up again soon, man. In a bit.
Always like